So he sees the monk with a begging bowl, who's renounced all this, how do I say this politely? Renounce, all these traps that we fall into in life, marriage and our attachment to the world, which is the basic point of the whole lecture. Returning home, he looked at these three inescapable facets of life, which he had seen, according to the story, that he'd never seen before. Right? Kind of silly. Anyway, good stuff. Realizing the suffering of life, he resolved to renounce the world and become a religious seeker of truth. So for 6 years he followed. He's Hindu, right? There was no Buddhism before the Buddha, right? He's firmly entrenched in the Hindu tradition. So he goes and follows several leaders. If any of you are really interested, I'll tell you a joke later, but not now, about the meaning of life. And I love mythology because it actually mirrors each other, whether it's Greek, Roman, whatever, they have similar stories. One of them is classic, the cleansing by water. He leaves his wife and his son in the middle of the night. I think in the stories they even say he kissed her goodbye. Right? Deadbeat dad. Right?
It's not very Confucian of him, is it?
That'll come a little later. But what I'm telling you now is really the truly important stuff, right? He split. He said, no. And he's not hurting her. She's a princess. She's living in a palace. It's not like, crack addicts in New York, right? They're living, they're covered, right? Except they don't have him. But he gave you, supposedly, knowledge, which may be important in simply raising, loving your wife and raising your kid. That's debatable. We won't go there now. So, late one night, he left the palace with his attendant, reached a nearby river, hence the cleansing by water, right? He told the guy, who of course wanted to go with him, you go home. This is my journey, not yours, right? And this is repeated. John the Baptist, what is that? All religions have these stories about cleansing by water, right? Baptism, right? Anyway, so then he cut his long hair off. I used to have really long hair. And realizing the suffering of life, he renounced the world. And actually, in accordance with Hindu tradition, he decided he'd study at the foot of a master and learn. And so he tried several, none of which worked. He didn't get where he wanted to be, which actually is a misnomer, because you don't get where you want to be, because when you get there, you disappear. Nirvana. You know that word? Of course you do. What's it mean?
Enlightenment.
No.
Okay.
What's it mean? Extinguishing. It means elimination of your being, your soul, whatever you are, gone. Because it is illusory in nature altogether.
If you reach nirvana, can you slip out of it? Or once you reach nirvana, you're always in nirvana?
You're not there. Extinguishing. You're no longer there. It really defeats the Western mind.
Yeah.
Because the idea, we're so entrenched, and the
we're
Buddhist
expected to be
mind,
functional members
we're so
of society.
entrenched in the idea of our own identity, that the idea that it's all false is impossible for us to, or very hard for us to recognize. But that's Buddhism. You know, you're not real. You're a product of your previous lives, and so on and so on, right? You don't get anything from nirvana. You're gone. Sorry. But that is Buddhism. That's what their philosophy is. God, I should have wrote this right.
I have a question.
Please.
You said if you're lucky enough, you become a human?
They say.
They say?
Yes.
Okay.
But that's based on faith, because they don't know. They can't prove it.
I disagree with the sometimes answered that Buddhism is not philosophy, it's science. If it's true, it's true. What's the problem with truth? It's one of my favorite jokes. My jokes are never funny. What's the problem with truth? It's true. And that is a big problem, if you believe it, or no, whether you believe it or not, if it's true, it's true.
Yeah. And
that's up to all our own subjective judgment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, well, he asked another question.
You answered some other question. No, I was asking because you said, are there certain things that you have to do to become a human? Like, do you have to be a good ant, and that would require a conscience?
Yes. You have to be a very good ant to become a human being. Because then you get the three requisites. You get to hear the name of the Buddha, you get to hear some stupid lecturer talk to you about it, and you get the chance to actually practice, which I'm going to talk about at the end.
How do you be a good ant?
You planning for the future?
I can't remember.
They're like a good willow tree.
Hey, I'm having fun with this. I hope you are.
Yeah, we are.
Too,
Be a good willow tree.
Yeah.
Work with breezes.
So anyway, he studied for 6 years in the Hindu tradition under many teachers and starved himself. Asceticism is the guiding rule in that culture, which I love tremendously. But he didn't get it. He didn't get the answer to the meaning of life. Somebody's got to ask me to tell me the joke, tell you the joke later. Because my jokes are never funny.